All right, so today I want to answer the question that I probably get asked the most, which is how many email campaigns should I send per month? And this is going to be a definitive guide. It's not black or white. So today I'm going to cover all the different points you need to keep in mind in order to define a specific frequency for your email campaigns inside your Clave account or whatever ESP you're using. So first things first, I want to cover what the truth is about email frequency. You see the question, how many emails should I send per month or per week or whatever it is, doesn't really have a one size fits all answer. The reality is that email frequency depends on a variety of factors. For example, audience, product, time of the year, and your goals as well. What works in one quarter might not work in another quarter, which is extremely important to keep in mind. For example, in Q4, during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holiday season, more frequent emails may perform well because, of course, your competitors are sending more emails. People are getting flooded with emails all the time. So it is extremely important to stay top of mind. That's why a higher frequency during Q4 might be more optimal, right? In quieter periods like Q1, like right now, for example, a more balanced approach might be optimal, might be necessary. So the key takeaway here is that instead of searching for the perfect frequency, focus on retention metrics and customer behavior to guide your approach. I'm going to cover practical recommendations later on this video, so please stick with me here. Okay, next point is why testing is not enough. Holdout tests are often suggested to determine the optimum frequency. For instance, one group receives 3 emails a week and the other one gets 1. At the end of the test, in most cases, you might see no uplift in revenue for the higher frequency, right? Does that mean you should stick to 1 email per week forever? No. Your audience, product lineup, and even the seasonality, as I mentioned before, of your business will evolve. What works now might not work in the future. And that's another concept which is really important. So the key takeaway here is email frequency is dynamic. Reassess your email frequency regularly to align with your business and audience needs. Now, next point is, these are the questions you must answer in order to guide your email strategy, email frequency strategy, right? Of course, frequency is one of the most important aspects of email marketing and having consistency as well, okay? So instead of fixating on frequency, ask yourself these critical questions here. Does this add to the customer experience? Emails should provide value, whether educational, promotional, or entertaining. If an email feels forced or irrelevant, don't send it unless absolutely necessary for short-term revenue or uplift in revenue, okay? Is your active customer base growing? If your net active subscribers are increasing month over month, it is a sign that your audience is engaged, which is great. Gradually increasing email frequency in this scenario is unlikely to hurt your performance, so that's a good sign, right? Are you over emailing to cover business gaps? And that's a huge one I see, especially for 7 and 8 figure e-commerce brands. If you're relying on intensive campaigns to compensate for poor product quality or customer experience, it is a huge red flag. Focus on fixing those foundational issues for long-term success. So the key takeaway here is emails should enhance the customer journey, not compensate for deficiencies in your business. It should enhance it. It should make your business better and just scale what already works. Just promote something that actually works, which is your product. So the backbone of any successful e-commerce brand we work with is having a great solution, a great product. If you don't have it ready, then focus on that first, right? Instead of using emails, just a high frequency to cover those business gaps, okay? Now, next point is the post-purchase optimization. You see, most brands over-rely on email campaigns because their post-purchase experience is very poor, it is lacking. By improving automation in customer journeys, you can reduce the need for constant selling. So some practical tips here: build smart automations for post-purchase flows to guide customers from their first to second purchase and increase LTV. Focus on customer retention rather than squeezing revenue from campaigns. That means basically focusing on higher level metrics or macro metrics LTV, repeat purchase rate, etc., instead of like focusing on very micro level campaign metrics such as revenue, etc., etc. So the key takeaway here is a better post-purchase experience reduces dependency on high-frequency email campaigns. And so one of the most important flows by far is the post-purchase flow, right? The thank you flow. You must basically, like, if you haven't checked out my video on how to build a proper thank you flow, please feel free to do so. But essentially, you must cover different points in order to make the post-purchase experience as optimal as possible. And as I mentioned before here, instead of like relying on a higher frequency, make sure your post-purchase sequence is completely dialed in, okay? Now, finally, some practical recommendations for email frequency. If you're unsure where to start, here's a step-by-step approach. Start with one campaign per week and monitor key metrics, open rates, click rates, conversions, unsubscribes, and spam reports. If metrics look healthy, increase to 2 campaigns per week and reassess. Gradually increase to 3 to 4 campaigns a week as long as engagement and health metrics remain stable. Really important. Also, take a look at the previous points I just covered in there to make sure your business foundations are there as well. So content balance, really important. Around, of course, it depends on every single brand, but around 80% of your content should be valuable content. Focus on educational or entertaining emails that resonate with the audience, and the rest can be more promotional. So the 20% you can use sparingly to keep your audience engaged without overwhelming them with sales pitches. Okay. Now on to general guidance for most brands. Last point here is and this is kind of a higher level, like general guidelines here, is for most e-commerce brands, sending 2 to 4 campaigns per week strikes the right balance. That's my experience with working with over 50 e-commerce brands at this point. It's frequent enough to maintain visibility, but not so aggressive that it risks annoying your audience. So the key takeaway, monitor your metrics, but stay flexible and focus on providing value in pretty much every single email you send, okay? And again, take a look at some retention metrics. You can use an app like Lifetime, for example, to take a look at lifetime value cohorts, repeat purchase rate, etc., etc., etc. So hopefully you learned something here. Hopefully I answered your question. And if you're running an e-commerce brand doing over 50K per month right now, and you want a high-performing email marketing team to crush your email marketing for 2025, a link to my scheduler is going to be in the description box below. So feel free to go in there and book a time to work. So we're more than happy to put together a free clever audit for you, as well as a specific plan of attack for your brand. So yeah, with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.